Let's continue with the scripts and the skills to get you more listings in 2021, leveraging the just listed and just sold traditional strategy. So there's three components to this opportunity, and then we'll deconstruct the script and the strategy for each one of those so that you can get way more listings. Let's go into these. Number one is on the just listed. So when you talk to a neighbor that the property came onto the market and you share that price, that's a great time. Number two is when you have the buyer demand. So in some marketplaces, we're getting 25 showings in a weekend, 50 showings in a weekend, and or, we got 14 offers within the first 72 hours. So you have a great opportunity to talk to the neighbors when you have all of those excess buyers right now who are interested in the neighborhood. That's a great one. And then of course is the just sold. So let's take a look at these three opportunities. So there's, if you're like, oh, I didn't get to the just listed, who cares? If you got a huge buyer demand and multiple offers, that's really probably one of the best phone calls because it's great news and important information for those neighbors, as we discussed in the first video on the just listed, just sold mindset. Okay, so let's dive into the script and skill strategies that would allow you to find those sellers and book that appointment. Let's dig in. Skill number one is making sure that you have a local sounding introduction. A local sounding introduction, what does that mean? So I constructed this thing where it's like, hey, this is Patrick. I'm a local realtor here in Carlsbad. And I was reaching out to all the neighbors here in La Costa Valley. So use the city name, use the neighborhood name if you can. That clearly tells the person, hey, I'm a local and I'm just talking to the locals. That is really valuable in reducing a lot of that upfront resistance. Okay, so that's skill number one. Skill number two is don't preamble about, I'm Patrick Ferry from Keller Williams Realty here in, don't do that. Just Patrick, local realtor. Keep it short and concise and be clear with people who you are and what they can expect in this conversation, okay? Now, the reason for your call is you, as the realtor of the property that's for sale in their neighborhood. So use some of that language that's a little bit more, not so industry. Hey, I listed a property, right? Use, hey, I am representing the Joneses on selling their property in your neighborhood over on Banana Street. See the difference? Oh, I listed a property 123 Banana Street and it was listed for. I'm the agent representing the Joneses on Banana Street, right around the corner from you inside of the community name. So you can see those little subtle difference there that reduces a lot of the resistance. It brings clarity to the person that you're talking to about who you are and what they can expect. And that's where I found a lot of value. Okay, next, number three, skill number three is really asking this one question. Do you have any questions about prices in the neighborhood or with what's going on with the market? Do you have any questions about prices in the neighborhood or with what's going on with the market? Now, big shout out to Dan Dumont, who created a great script that's similar to this, and he's producing extraordinary results because this question is very service-based first, not sales-based, right? So the traditional script is something along the lines of, hey, we listed the property. Do you know anyone that's thinking of moving into the area, right? Hey, we sold the property. When do you plan on moving? And so it goes from service right into sales. So if we take a step back and go serve, hey, we listed a property, it's 400 or 500,000. Do you have any questions about prices in the neighborhood or with what's going on with the market? Now, there's an extra reason for the call too, which makes it sound a little bit more official, which here in California, we can't do open houses. So, part of, hey, I'm reaching out to all the neighbors because we can't do open houses. So I just want to make myself available to see, Do you have any questions about prices in the neighborhood or with what's going on with the market? See, when you have an actual reason and you're providing service, you're not really trying to get the listing, you'll open up lots more conversations. So what I saw with these skills was, instead of it being like, oh man, I had to call hundreds and hundreds of people to finally get something, I actually was like, no, no, no. You know, the conversation to quality lead, that ratio actually went down because I was able to open more conversations with this script strategy. And inside of that, more people revealed their actual motivation of what they were doing. And that then, man, everybody started producing extraordinary results. So let's keep moving because we got a lot to talk about on the back end here. So you've got your intro, you've got your reason for your call, you've got that beautiful serve first, sell second question that cracks things open, right? Such a relevant question for today's consumer and market. Okay, now there's two more awesome questions that I picked up from an amazing door knocker. So let me give those to you real fast. Number one is this great guy, big shout out to Richard Stone, Keller Williams, fantastic door knocker. And thank you, he shared this with me. He said, hey, he asked the question, have you heard any rumors of one of your neighbors who's had any thoughts of selling? Have you heard any rumors? So this is a great classic, what's called indirect, meaning I'm not asking you. What I'm doing is I'm saying, do you know anyone else that's doing it? And that also takes the pressure off me. So if I'm thinking that I want to sell and you ask, instead of me asking you directly, and you might give me that reflexive no response, you're like, oh, no, we're not, we're not, right? Which is what they do. You're going, I'm not asking you, I'm actually, do you know anyone else? And Richard would do a cool turn and he would do it like that. And what would happen is instead of them resisting you in that natural reflexive response, they kind of go, oh, well, well, we're kind of thinking about it, right? It's beautiful. Okay. A second question that he asked, which I thought was genius, was, within the next 2 years, have you had any thoughts of selling? Within the next 2 years, have you had any thoughts of selling? Now, naturally, for my drivers out there, you're like, what, 2 years? That's insane. No, relax. What we did is psychologically was we got them to say yes, that they're in the game to sell their home. And within the next probably 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, right, within the next year. So that question gets you tons of opportunity for us to build our pipeline for 96, 9 months, 12 months for the next year. Let's load the pipeline of all these great sellers with that beautiful question. Okay. Now, let's take a step back to we got multiple offers. So of course we should be, if we got multiple offers, we should be saying, hey, right? Do you have any question about price in the neighborhood? What's going on with the market? Nope. Hey, great news, right? We received 4 offers. I negotiated the price over the list price, which is exciting, right? I can't disclose what it is to you, but what that means is I have 3 other buyers who asked me to see if any of the neighbors might be interested in selling their home because they love it here. So have you heard any rumors? See, so when you're actually doing work for those other buyers who missed out but want to do something now, and you let them know that you're working on behalf of the seller and the buyer, and you're here to serve the community, man, the results off the charts. So you can see it's not, hey, is there a script that's going to get me a listing tomorrow? No, it's like, how can we serve the community? How can we provide a great update? How can we make it a good experience for them, from a cold call or a door knock, whatever it is, right? So that you can earn the opportunity for those people to now reveal themselves and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, let's talk a little bit about this. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to go back to there's two types of closes, right? So one close is someone who, after you talk to them and they say kind of, yeah, we're interested, maybe not between now and the end of the year, but maybe in the spring, right? Or if someone says, hey, we're interested now, hey, congratulations, high five, right? But let's just talk a little bit about the close here, and then let's talk about the person that's kind of 6, 9, 12 months out, because we can stack the deck with the next 6 months and the next 1 year so that you have an amazing pipeline. Okay, so let's look at two closes. Strategy number one is, if they said they have some interest, be ready with a good offer. Now, what do I mean by that? So you can say something along the lines of, hey, here's what I like to do, an offer. Here's what I like to do with people that are maybe 3 to 6 months out from selling their home. Number one, I like to do kind of share a little bit about what would the highest, or I'd like to share kind of from my research, what's the highest possible price that I can get a buyer to pay for your home today. Okay, then also share with you two things. What am I looking at that would cause prices to continue to rise? And what are some of the things we're concerned about on prices going down? Okay, guys, there's two things going on. There's potential price rises, and there's potential prices de-escalating, right? We don't need to be bullish about one. Share what you see is moving it up, and share what you see is moving it down. Now, if I'm going to sell my house in the next 90 days, do I want to know that information? What do you think? Yes. Do I want to know what's the highest possible price a buyer would be willing to pay for my home right now? Of course. Make them an offer that they can't refuse. One more thing to add to this. So if you are 3 to 6 months out from selling a home, there's three options. You've got to make a decision on one of three options. Option number one, sell as is. Option number two, do some things to fix up the property so you can maximize the sales price. Okay. Option number three, do some serious remodeling to really try and maximize the sales price. And that decision should be made at least 6 months before. So if you said, hey, let me show you what the highest possible price I can get you, what the buyer's willing to pay. Let's talk about where the direction of the market could possibly go. And then let's discuss kind of your three options of how to prepare your home so that you can get the best possible result for you and your family 6 months before. That's a really nice offer, right? And then you could say, hey, now let's wrap this bad boy up. You could say, hey, I'm available this week or the following week. Which one works better for you? Now, if you close with too much urgency, because remember, they didn't tell you that they're ready to sell tomorrow, to list this week. They said they're kind of giving you they're opening the door for you to talk to them more about selling, but they're probably going to hide their motivation from you. They just met you. I'm not going to tell you all my motivation, right? So I'm going to hide it a little bit. But so that's why this offer is so perfect, because when you come back and you get face to face and you sit down and you guys start talking, then they'll reveal their real motivation. So if you close too hard when they told you that they weren't highly motivated, and you're closing hard, let's meet tonight or tomorrow and I'll tell you what I can do to sell your home for the highest possible price right now, quickly. No. I promise you, they will reject it. And then you'll be like, oh, Patrick, your stuff didn't work. No. You closed inappropriately for the customer in their journey. And we need to get to that second meeting for us to find the real motivation. So close in a general way this week or next week, right? That's the way to get it done. Now, last thing, the default for people who are like, yeah, maybe in the next year we'll consider selling, right? And maybe you make that offer and they're like, no, we don't, I don't want to waste your time, which actually is a very polite and respectful thing to say. So if they say, no, I don't want to waste your time, we're kind of too far out down the road. That's perfect. Now, here's the final, this is the pipeline builder that's going to make you guys so much money. You're going to say this one line. You're going to say, all of the neighbors have asked me to keep them up to date on prices in the neighborhood and with what's going on with the market. Would you like me to add you to the group? See, the psychology of this close is genius, because what I'm saying is everybody else has asked me to do all this work for them. Would you like me to add you to the group? See, it's a very different psychology than, hey, could you give me your email address and I'll keep you up to date and I'll follow up with you all the time. They're gonna be like, no, no, no. Okay. So this is the power of that. All of the neighbors have asked me to keep them up to date on prices and what's going on with the market. Would you like me to just add you into the group, right, with everybody else, right? Because this is just kind of the service that I'm offering, you know, no pressure. And they say yes. Now you can say, great. Would you want to see any update, you know, any new active, pending, or sold that may influence the value of your home? Would you like to see that on a, you know, twice a month basis, a once a month basis, or even a once a quarter basis? Which one works better for you? And they'll be like, yeah, cool. Like, by the way, my puppy's been chewing on my hand, right? So, right. So again, let me repeat that script because this is a powerful script. What I'd like to do is I set up a custom list of properties that, right, that are active, pending, or sold that would positively or negatively influence the value of your home so that you can stay very closely up to date on what's going on with your property. Then I might say something like this that I just did with the sellers. I said, look, you know, so that, you know, if here I am in October and I said, by the time that you and I meet again in the spring, if you're paying attention to all of these three things, you'll know the market just as good as I will. And you know what? She was like, thank you. She was a thank you for that, right? So this custom list of properties that could positively or negatively influence the value of your home. And would you like that once a week? Would you like that twice a month, once a month, right? They will be like, the motivated person will be like, give me that twice a month, right? Cool, give me your email, boom, I now have them locked and loaded, right? Then you may ask for a cell phone number, but again, remember, you have their address, you have all their names and information, you got most of the information, so having an email address is a huge win, right, for a first conversation with someone. So, you know, you're good here, and if I could put them on a custom list of properties and then follow back up, right, you're gonna do really well. We could stack the deck. Now, to get the phone number, as my good buddy Andy C., who's a brilliant farm marketer and door knocker, you know, he would just kind of do the, right, hey, what's the best phone number for me to follow up with you? And he would look down, right? Now, over the phone, we can't really pull that stuff off easily, but we already got their phone number over the phone. Hello. I was thinking door knock, but really we're over the phone anyway. So I got the phone number, get the email. Now we've got a complete contact. We've got permission marketing. We've got an agreement to send them high quality stuff, and you're set, you're off and running. So you can see that with this strategy, right? If we go back to the mindset session, getting you into that serve first, make an impact, make a difference mindset, and the true value of the service of keeping people up to date on what's going on with prices and values in the market and their most valuable asset, this value is massive. So now we've got the just listed, we've got the buyer demand, multiple offer in escrow, and you got the just sold. We can make a significant impact with the neighbors in the community and just stack the deck with a bunch of 3, 6, 9, 12-month listing opportunities for you. So here's the scripts, here's the strategies. Let's get to work. On the next session, what we need to cover is tools, phone number resources, how these numbers play out, like how many phone calls to a conversation, how many conversations to a lead. We'll debrief that and kind of how we can stack the deck with this thing, and any tools to make this thing efficient and or get higher quality numbers. So again, I'm Patrick Ferry. If you have any questions about, you know, coaching with me, or you want to talk a little bit more about real estate or, you know, lead conversion, you know, I'm game, right? Reach out to me, jump in the description below and book a spot in my calendar. Let me know what I can help you out with. Use the comments below. Have a great day.